before I had ever even put my toe in New Ulm. I knew New Ulm as, you know, the polka capital of the United States. It was the Nashville of polka music. Hi, I'm John Cass, the Assistant Executive Director of the Minnesota Music Hall of Fame.
What brought you to New Ulm?
Tinder. Oh. And of course, she dumped me for her old boyfriend, which, you know, always happens or whatever. But I was here, I'm like, hey, you know what? This is a pretty nice town, you know. I was just thinking this while I was talking, you know. I'm a punk rocker, you know. I came from Minneapolis watching the Husker Du and the Replacements, you know. I used to book Soul Asylum and play keg parties. Like, what the heck am I doing here talking about polka music? Well, I was in the record business all these years, and I've always been a huge fan of Minnesota music, and having this 2 blocks from where I'm living, fell in love with the place, and I was gonna volunteer, and boom, the pandemic hit. So as soon as that was over and we had reopened, I just came in and said, put me to work, give me something to do, this is where I wanna be, so I'm always here. Well, during the pandemic, I did a lot of research about old-time music, and I listened to a lot of records of old-time polka music. We can pull out records and listen to them at any given time. One thing I learned was that there were 5 different musical acts from New Ulm that were recording for Hollywood Studios and New York. They all had a band from New Ulm. The ones that are the biggest sellers, the ones that are the best known are Whoopie John and the Six Fat Dutchmen. New Ulm has 3 other musical acts that recorded for major labels. Elmer Scheid, Babe Wagner, and Fez Fritchie. And that's why the Hall of Fame is in New Ulm.
Do you think Minnesota is this polka state in this country?
Kind of. I think there's a historical case that could be made.
Polka, Minnesota, I don't know of any other state that does anything like that. Every place you go, it's polka, 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 polka.
If you need any players or anything, it seems like you got to go to Minnesota to find them.
Yes, there have been a million bands that have come from Minnesota.
I would say Minnesota is a really close second for polka. Wisconsin, I believe, has that title. I know.
Are you from Wisconsin?
No.
It's either Minnesota or Wisconsin. I mean, it's one of those two.
Wisconsin has more people, more Germans, more, you know, communities dedicated to polka.
Wisconsin is a lot of Polish. Ohio is a lot of Slovenian.
There are others, but certainly it is one of. Yeah, Minnesota for sure is one of the states.
I'm Florian Chmielewski. I'm 95 years old, and I've been playing for 77 and a half years, and I'm still on the go. I played 7 times last week.
We're almost ready to go.
I have 4 jobs this week, so I got to keep going. So I'm 95 and I'm still looking for work.
Are you here to have some polka time? Here's one called the Beer Barrel Polka.
Okay, well, Minnesota, there's nothing like it in the polka world. There's no other state that can compare. You go in southern Minnesota, it's all that German music, and there's Whoopie John and the Six Fat Dutchmen.
I know.
Then you come into central Minnesota and you got a little bit of Polish. And then you start to hit up on the Iron Range, and what do you have there? Croatian, Slovenian. And then northwest Minnesota is the home of the Scandinavians. I'll tell you, you go there and they do dance a lot of Finnish music and a lot of things like that.
Oh, to be in Oleana, that's where I like to be. Then be bound to Norway to drag the chains of slavery.
You know, so one time we had a big argument about whether the chicken dance came in from Germany or Wisconsin or Minnesota. I think it came from Minnesota.
Really?
Yeah, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And that's it, yeah.
Do you have evidence, or have you talked to people?
I just make it up. That's it. I've been playing now the accordion for 77 and a half years. We have 6 generations of the Chmielewski Funtime Band. How about that young lady? What's her name? Concertina Patty.
Concertina Patty?
Yep.
You ought to know her. She's your daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, Concertina Patty Chmielewski.
1, 2.
My name is Patty Chmielewski. I am from a family that began polka music in the 1890s with my great-grandfather. You know, horse and carriage stuff. My great-grandfather, they played the fiddles. It wasn't the accordion, they played the fiddles. And they would ride to town halls and just play music for the community. It was like a social event.
And my dad had it in 1911. I have it in 1943. Patty and Junior have it. Junior's kids have it. 6 consecutive generations of polka music.
Back in the 70s, I tell you, the girls would go crazy over my brothers. They'd be jumping in the windows, ripping their pockets off their shirts and things. We were like the Beatles. And believe it or not, it just doesn't seem possible. People say, with polka music? Oh, yes. 7 years old is when I made my first recording. They brought the whole truck and said, we want you to be on TV. And it just kept growing and growing, and that's just kind of what we did. Polka music is synonymous with Chmielewski's because we go so far back in history.
And that's the whole character of polka music. People are laughing all the time. They're creating a lot of friendship with one another. It's so happy. It's such a happy time.
All right. Just because you think that you're pretty, just because you think that you're hot, just because you think you got something that nobody else has got. All right, I'm impossible to explain, but I'll give her a try. My name's Steve Solkla. I'm from Palo, Minnesota, way up north of Ordinary there. I live in Virginia, Minnesota now. It's a town, not the state. And I'm a stuntman, comedian, musician, in that order. I play the accordion on unicycle and stilts, and I have a one-man band, and I travel the country doing something I love. And I tell you what, I need a nap. It's exhausting. Just because. Yeah, that's the just because polka. This is a historic Colorado Hall. Make some noise if you're finished. And this is a historic building. It was a temperance hall back in the day, and it was bought by the Finnish Americans. We've been using it as a clubhouse for many decades. Yeah, they used to have dancing. A lot of polka old-timey music, as they call it. I always got polka on the back burner ready to whip it out if need be, but it's usually for the older audience, of course, when they want the old-timey music. It's usually by request. Any other requests? Yeah, and that was really an economic decision. I'm gonna please the old people because they got the wallets, yeah? All right, you ready? When I got an accordion, it was because I was a bored farm boy growing up in Palo with nothing to do but my homework and practice accordion and chores and stuff. And it wasn't really until I got into the ethnic side of stuff that I grew up speaking a little Finnish. So eventually, you're holding accordion for long enough, the Slovenians scoop you up and you end up getting gigs at the old-timey bars and VFWs and Legions and stuff. I'm loosely a part of 2 metal bands. I do a lot of pop and classic rock, and I accompany rappers and do a ton of reggae. But yeah, polka's a little bit underrated. It's kind of got the negative connotation of only being for old people. But you know, old people were young ones too, and they danced, they met their wives. It's a beautiful part of history. Yeah, if you can make an old couple feel young again at the polka dance hall, why not do it?
We'll have a little two-step coming your way next, okay? It's all the way from right downtown Wilmer area here, so. Hey, I'm Larry Olson. I've been doing polka for 40-some years, and polka music's great. Try it. Everybody will love it, okay? Okay, here we go. One entitled Grandpa's Polka.
Ever since I was a child, my mom and dad would go to polka dances, and I got to go along. And I think I knew how to dance by the time I was 5.
All right, anybody else want to get out polka? Now's the time to do so.
We have entertainment on Wednesdays at the Senior Club, and we have our dances on Fridays. It's $7 if you want to dance, and if you just want to come and listen, we charge $2. It covers the lunch, and then it helps pay for the band. There's more women than there is men. And of course, then if you have spouses, well, now my husband never cared if I danced with somebody else, but then you have some people that, some women don't like that. You know, it's exclusive. Yeah.
Been doing it my entire life. I grew up on it, just family related, and meet a lot of nice people with it. You know how that darn COVID, it kind of put a kibosh on everything there for a couple of years, but we're rolling again and had a good time here doing the polka.
Larry Olson's band plays the traditional southern Minnesota, German, Czech, Oompa style polka music. Yeah.
Here's a dumb question.
Yeah, my favorite.
What is polka?
What is polka music?
So that's a dance.
Would it be a
talking
a fast waltz? Is that accurate? No.
Different rhythms.
Polka is just a two-step. I mean, it's the most simple dance that is.
Polka is a very simple genre.
I guess what's in common is the style of dancing and the beat.
From the lens of music theorist perspective, it's got a heavy 1 and 5, usually with a tuba or an upright bass. Boom, 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 boom. Then you just put a major chord, boom, 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 in between your bass. Boom, 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 boom. It's the simplest thing ever.
You want to know the heritage or where it's coming from?
Yeah, there's this area between like where Czechoslovakia, Poland, and Germany come together. They were the ones who invented the concertina in that part of the world, and it ended up coming here. Eventually, the biggest dealer of concertinas in the world was right on this road right in front of us. New Ulm has more people that claim German descent than any town in the United States. And because those people settled here, they brought with them their instruments and the knowledge of how to make them. I've dealt with a lot of record collections in my lifetime, right? But the Scheid and the Shells, all these SCH bands, there's just tons of them. Yeah, more than I've ever seen. There's 5 different kinds of old-time music and polka music in the United States. And the German and Czech style of southern Minnesota, this is certainly the place where that is based. And, you know, the German style is more of a loping beat. It's more oompa.
And you'll generally find a tuba and a concertina.
In Chicago and Buffalo in particular, there's a huge amount of Polish polka music. Wisconsin has a fair amount of that too.
Polish, you'll see concertinas and a lot of brass.
Now, Cleveland also had its own style. It's the Slovenian style.
That's with a banjo and accordions.
On the East Coast, they merged polka music with a big band sound. And then of course in Texas, there's a lot of Mexican polka music, and that's been going on for over 100 years down there too. So 5 different styles of music in the United States.
Now there's what polka music is coming to.
Hi, this is Mark Dobozinski from Dobozinski Brothers and Cavaliers, and you're listening to the Fun Time Polka Party with Patty Shimoleski and Michael Bell.
Pia Kuba, Doia Kuba, Yakuba Domi Hawa, Pia Hia,
So we got that, and then we go into draw a happy deal for them, and then we'll go into the next one.
Welcome back to the Fun Time Polka Party. I'm Michael.
And I'm Patty.
Welcome to the second hour.
Second hour? You didn't warn me, Michael.
I know. It goes so fast. Well, it's all this dancing we've been doing.
Yeah, right. The band was playing at KBEK Radio in Bram. And so one time they said, hey, you know, I think our people would really love some polka music here. We'd like for you to do a radio show. Can you do that? And it's like, I don't know, can we? Well, absolutely. You never say no, because that's what my dad always taught me. Yes, always challenge yourself. You know, we just try to pick a German, a Slovenian, a Polish, a local. You know, we just try to do a big variety because we like to support all kinds of polka music. It began in Minnesota and has expanded. It's syndicated and it is all around the country, but it began in Minnesota. Hey, that song was called 7 Days Polka by the Shimoleski Funtime Band, and that was one of the original orchestras.
That was all the older people that your dad had. It wasn't was it the Brothers, or was it right after the Brothers?
I think it was right after the Brothers.
Okay. Yeah, that's still a wonderful group, though. Love hearing those songs.
Absolutely. Our music has changed over the years because it started with the Shimoleski Brothers Orchestra, so my dad and his brothers. I think it was probably naturally assumed that one of my brothers would continue the music side of it, but I kind of started stepping up to the plate, be the leader, manage the band, now manage everything, and my life is parallel to my dad's. I just feel like my purpose in life is to make people happy. Cha-cha-cha! Woo! All right. All right.
Yay. So what do you think the future of polka looks like?
Grim.
I would like to say it's bigger and bigger and better than ever, but is that the case with anything?
The state of polka in Minnesota, I would say, is it is what it is.
It's the elephant in the room. In general, yeah, polka is deteriorating at quite an accelerated rate, and it's quite sad. Yeah, you don't find it in bars anymore. You know, even Chisholm, you could hear it every weekend someplace. Every Sunday after church, there'd be something going on, and it's not that way anymore. The population that grew up with it, that has the emotional connotation and the nostalgia value, it doesn't cut as much mustard as they used to.
You know, I should call Craig Ebel up. He will tell you, let's see, what day is it today? 4:30. I should call him up and ask him. And what he says, just get, is my phone here? Just to get, hang on. Let's see if he answers. Craig Ebel, Craig's mom and dad had the Bellray Ballroom in the Twin Cities.
Hey, Patty.
Craigie, I am doing an interview here on polkas, and I had a question for you.
Yeah.
It's the question that he asked me. How do you feel is the state of polka music now?
We played today. The band comes from Iowa. I drummed for them. They're 5 hours away. We generally have about 160 people here. Today, maybe we had 120, 125. And you put 10 more years on the crowd that we had today, and you could cut that in half easily. There's no young.
And then why do you feel it's not being passed down, or the
families just don't go out to these events anymore? The younger couples don't bring the people out anymore, and it's just a live entertainment in general really slipped, and especially now this COVID thing, it just killed it. It killed the polka big time, and there's just places are drying up and the bands aren't playing anymore.
Yeah.
Your mom. No? Okay, fine.
What?
Nothing. I had a really sweet your mom joke and nobody paid attention to me.
I got it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We are Vinsigahosen. We are Tiny Pants.
That's terrible.
I'm Kayla. This is Patrick, Brian, Abe, Eric, Tommy, Luke, and we are Vinsigahosen.
My comrades down in Duluth and stuff, they're mixing punk polka, they're mixing metal polka. Why people be crazy, that's all I'm saying.
The definition of success is to take something old-fashioned and something new and combining them together in a way that nobody else has done.
Kick it in the face and put a little rock into it. I think that makes it more palatable.
I looked at things like, very more aggressive bluegrass, even like Irish folk stuff, and then I looked at polka that was kind of on the same plane of that style of music. I've always loved going to polka establishments and the smile on people's faces when they're dancing and having a great time, and I thought that it'd be fun to take it to another level.
I don't mean to be mean. It sounds like you don't know a lot about the history of polka.
I was never good at history.
I don't think you need to know the history of polka. I just think you need to have grown up in a town where every church, basement, or moose lodge had a polka band that your grandparents made you go see.
Polka night down at the Moose
Polka
Lodge.
night at the Moose Lodge.
Oh, yeah.
I only know how to polka because my grandpa showed me.
What's next? Ah!
I think we should play the one original song we have. What?
Won't you come over? We could play a game. I know that you're so good at every game you play. And on your way, hey, you can get some beer. Won't you come over? I could cook for you if you swing by the store and pick up some food. And while you're there, would you also get some beer?
How many people here are former emo kids?
I don't know what you're doing, but I know what you should do. You should come on over here and bring along some food. I don't know where you are, but I know you're on your way. 'Cause I drink all the beer in my house earlier today. Look, I'm just gonna lie down for like 1, 2, 3.
I've had this conversation with a few people we've played with, and the future of polka, people are gonna go one of two directions. Strictly classic, like go hardcore classic polka, or people are gonna do kind of what we're doing, which is put their own twist on it.
Which
Like-
there is. If you see those like German videos of like those big October festival, it's all like techno, like big bouncy. It sounds terrible.
Ziggy Zaka, Ziggy Zaka! Ziggy Zaka, Ziggy Zaka! Ziggy Zaka, Ziggy Zaka!
They're like the ultimate, version of what we're talking about here. Two different genres of music, it's a hybrid. So yeah, that's what is going to keep polka music going.
It's been dying for 150 years and it still continues to go. People still want to come out and they want to have fun. They want to maybe drink a beer, socialize, listen to some great toe-tapping music.
We've been playing it there forever, I think. I don't think it ever stopped.
It's just polka polka.
It won't die, it'll evolve, I believe, and I'm a pessimist.
This program is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.